Well, hello.
I feel like a club kid from like the 80s.
You totally could be an extra in Pretty in Pink.
Oh my goodness, I could.
Right?
Oh, but I still need to see though.
In the club with Ducky. I love Ducky.
Okay.
Ducky was the best. And if y'all haven't seen Pretty in Pink, may I recommend watching it? Because it's one of the best 80s John Hughes teen angst films out there. It's really good.
It is. I just like John Hughes movies altogether. It's one of those things. Though my personal favorite is always going to be The Breakfast Club, just because it's The Breakfast Club. Like
that movie is just, oh, it's so good. It's so many memories.
Yeah, I still would like to know that whole joke, the poodle under the arm joke. But I digress.
Yeah.
Memories. Because today I'm identifying as an 80s club kid, because why not? Apparently we can choose whatever identity we want nowadays.
Absolutely.
I could be a black woman if I could get my hair to act right.
Well,
never mind the blue eyes and the peaches and cream color skin. I could be a black woman if I could just get the hair done right.
If Rachel Dolezal can do it, you can do it.
Right?
I believe in you.
If I could do my cheekbones well enough, I could possibly go for Native American. Again, ignore the blue eyes.
Right. Well, I mean, that's just a genetic pool that, it's one of those glitches, those recessive gene things, right?
Right.
Is that how that works?
I think so.
But science. For me, I identify as a rich person. And I really need people just to donate to me so that I can realize my true potential as a rich person.
I like that. I want to go with that idea. Good luck with that idea.
Right. I also identify as a sober person. If I get pulled over, I just identify as a sober person.
I like that. If I'm going by, I think it was probably Mike the Cop's new drunk driver's test, sobriety test. No to Taco Bell and no to texting your ex.
Right.
You'll pass it. Just no. Tonight I'm going to identify as a drunk person because the medication I'm on does not allow me to have alcohol.
Woo! I am going to have alcohol because it is Friday. And so my work is usually pretty slow, pretty quiet, whatever. And it's really nice. I get paid really well to do virtually nothing. But then there's days like today where nothing. And then my boss calls me at 3:45 and he goes, "Did you not see that work order from this morning?" I'm like, "What work order? I didn't see anything in the email." He's like, "No, that one that we had." I'm like, "Oh, I so didn't know that was a work order. I thought that was just information somebody was sending to you," because the email started with, "Here's the information you asked for."
Oh.
And so I had to quick call them. Well, I had a wrong phone number. Super awesome. And then while I was trying to get that straightened out, I got another work order. Okay, mind you, I quit work at 4. So this all is 3:45. It all starts. So I get another work order. I call the first number on that work order. Nobody answers, leave a message. Call the second number, nobody answers, leave a message. While I'm leaving a message, they call me. So then I call them back, and I finally get that one scheduled. I'm like, woohoo, 50% done with the work that I have to do today. Then I call the guy who initially sent me the email for the other work order that I didn't think was a work order, but it was. Had to leave him a message saying, hey, I have a wrong phone number. And then I'm like all set to like walk away from my computer. Ring! My phone rings. It's them calling me back to give me the right phone number. Yay! So then I call and I get the right phone number and I leave a message because nobody answers. I'm like, awesome. I'll leave a message. No problem. And then I can walk away. So I leave a message and I'm typing up the email to say I left a message and due diligence and whatnot. Ring! They call me back. I got done at work at 4:30. I was supposed to be ready to record this at 4:30. That did not happen.
It's all good. It's all good.
So it's been a day. And so
happened. I completely understand. Life happened.
Yeah. I'd like to identify as a non-busy person, but unfortunately that is not the case.
I would just like to identify as a thin person. Can I do that?
Ooh, yes. Let's do that. Let's both identify as thin women.
Okay. No, because I don't need to be like rail thin, but I would like to be able to like go into a store and like buy like a 6 or an 8. That would be cool.
You know what? I'm good with a 10. I'll be good with
10 would be okay. Basically, anything that I don't have to go into the plus size for.
Yes.
That would be really coolly awesome.
I'd like to be able to shop at like Taylor Loft without having to squeeze my ass into their pants.
Right. I also would like to have, along with the thinner frame, I would also like to have smaller feet so I could have cuter shoes and be able to find shoes.
You know, I would too. I had really cute feet once upon a time. I had 7.5 size feet once upon a time. The latest shoes I bought, which are cowboy boots, actually are a size 11 because I couldn't fit my big fat monster feet into any other shoe.
Yeah, it always hurts when you start going for those double digits. Damn it.
I'm like,
I can blame my Dutchness.
I can't even look at the 9s anymore. It doesn't work that way. I got great
shoot. I haven't worn 9 since elementary. I don't know what you're talking.
So
I was just like all feet growing up.
Right. Well, I had babies, and for some reason, babies make your feet get big. Like God, I think when I finally make it to heaven, I think God and I are going to have a discussion about that so that I can help other women later. Because that is a really cruel change that happens when you have babies. So, fair warning, ladies. Sorry.
Yeah. You haven't had kids. They fuck up your body more ways than one. No, talking about identity, the reason I want to bring this up is because it's coworker told me about this. Because I work with this guy, he's late 20s, early 30s, somewhere around there. Tells you how much I pay attention. And I used to work with him like 5-6 years ago. But another coworker was relaying a story that happened between them because they work on the same shift. And I don't know how the subject came up. He's like, well, yeah, I'm a Mexican American. She looked at him going, well, were you born in Mexico? No. Was your mom born in Mexico? No. Was your grandpa born in Mexico? No. Then you're not a Mexican American, you're American. And he got upset. I'm like, wait, when she told me this, I'm like, he was told over 5 years ago by a guy who speaks Spanish, has a Mexican accent, even though he was born in Detroit, whose dad is from Mexico, that he's a Taco Bell Mexican. Now, before y'all get upset, let me explain what a Taco Bell Mexican is. Now, this kid has the last name that sounds Mexican. I'll let you choose whatever last name you want. There's a lot of them out there. He has that, but everything else about him is completely American. He wears Hollister shirts. He has a little boy band haircut and facial hair. He, he doesn't speak any Spanish, doesn't follow any of the Mexican culture whatsoever. So he's a Taco Bell Mexican. The last name is there, so you know that that's his heritage. But everything else, American as hell.
I'm dying. I'm dying over here. Okay, I might as well then identify as a Scottish American.
Yeah.
I don't have a brogue, but my maiden name, we have a castle in Scotland. I've never actually been to Scotland. I don't have any living relatives that I know of that still live in Scotland. And my new last name is not Scottish. But yeah, I totes am a Scottish American.
Because when it's, to me, it's like, okay, I grew up in West Michigan. There's a lot of Dutch people here, and if you're not Dutch, most likely you're Polish if you're white. That's just kind of how it goes. So that's one of the ways that we identify only between those two sects, Mm-hmm. Are you Polish or Dutch? And sometimes they're intermixed, not a lot. But
you gotta keep them separated.
Exactly. But it's not like you go around and it was more of like a joke. It was just to keep the jokes going. If you're Dutch, you make fun of the Polish. If you're Polish, you make fun of the Dutch. And it was basically you just take out which one you are and just put in the other one, to make the jokes go.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like we would go and tell like the whole world that's no, because we knew we're American. We never preface it by going, we're Dutch American or Polish American. We might say, yeah, well, I have Polish ancestors. That's where my family is from. Because I grew up with people that came from the Netherlands. And I can't speak it because it's dramatic. It's from dramatic, where it has a in there. And I can't do those kind of languages because I'm really afraid that if I try to speak it, a loogie is going to come from the back of my throat and hit somebody right in the freaking forehead. Trying to do some of those.
Yeah, it might be bad. That could be bad.
But it'd be hilarious. But it would be
hilarious. But this whole wanting to identify with things, I don't. Okay, so riddle me this, Batman. I don't understand. So we were a segregated country for a very long time. Very long.
Well,
okay.
Yeah.
But then we had a civil war about it. And we were like, no, we're good. We don't need to kill any more people about that. Let's be united. Cool. So then we were united, but we still had some problems. Well, then we had the civil rights movement, and that kind of united people again because the segregation was still there. And now then desegregation happened, and now we're all happy and kumbaya, whatever. I thought growing up that we had reached a point where we were Americans. We were united as Americans. There wasn't a division between even sexes. Like it wasn't, I mean, feminism was on the rise and whatnot, then, girl power, yeah. But there wasn't this warring of it. It was more like, hey, notice us.
Yeah, we all kind of just got along. I mean, where people talk bad about the 90s, in reality, I think people got more along in the 90s than they do today.
Yeah, the 90s were pretty kick-ass, if you ask me. I lived through them. I lived through the 70s, 80s, 90s, all the way to today. I'm like a radio station. So,
right.
But now we're in this era, and I don't even, it's the weirdest era I've ever lived in, which is we not only want to segregate ourselves again, but not necessarily by race, but by age and gender and gender identification and class, like your socioeconomic class.
So basically, they want us to turn us into India's caste system because they don't know about India's caste system and don't know how that freaking works. And that's not freedom.
It's insane. It is absolutely insane. I don't understand. Why can I? Okay. I'm going to take a deep cleansing breath. I don't care your socioeconomic status. I don't care your gender. I don't care what you identify as. I don't care your race. I don't care your age. I don't care what family type you have. I don't care who you choose to love. What I do care about, are you an asshole? Because if you're an asshole, I don't want to deal with you. And if you're not, then let's go hang out.
Exactly. Because I don't know why that's like the hardest part for people to understand. I keep seeing memes, white privilege is being able to be known that you're a racist just because of the color of your skin. That automatically, because I'm white, I'm a Christian, I'm a conservative, I automatically am homophobic, transphobic, racist, Islamophobic, everything else. In all honesty, I told my coworker when she went off on me, if you come at me nice, I'll come back at you nice. You come at me like a bitch, you better start running.
So my husband posted this recently on his Facebook page, and it made me laugh really hard. He actually sent it to me before he posted it. And I don't know how many of our viewers watch American Dad, but it is awesome. I highly recommend it. But he posted this meme that says, I'm a heterosexual, Christian conservative, pro-life, pro-police, gun-owning NRA member who believes the Redskins should keep their name. How else may I piss you off today?
Yep, pretty much. It's the weirdest thing. Like, we're supposed to be tolerant of everybody else, but they don't have to be tolerant towards us at all. And it's all like, well, it's systemic oppression. I'm like, I haven't oppressed anybody. I'm like,
well, no, that's not true. I've oppressed my children.
Well, it's because they're your children and you're allowed to do that.
Oh, okay. Well, then no. Then I haven't oppressed anybody.
Yeah. Here's my feeling. If you push them out of your body, you can oppress the shit out of them. I don't care.
They oppressed my uterus. I can oppress them.
They ruined your feet forever. You can no longer get cute shoes because of them. How dare they?
How dare they? I tell you, some people's children.
Speaking of some of the greatest stuff that's come on Facebook. I sent this to you. I forgot. I think somebody did post it on Facebook. So they're going, he's like, I totally got to make out with a lesbian because I told her I was gender fluid.
Yes. And that is what our society has become.
I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm like, number one, okay, can we go over the gender definition? Hi, my name is Sparkles. I identify my gender. I don't identify as this. My gender is the woman. How do I know I'm a woman? Because I was born with a uterus that helps grow babies. And then I push them out through a vagina, and then I have breasts to feed them. Mm-hmm. That makes me a female. Not my hair, not my makeup, not my dress, not my cute little shoes that I can find every once in a while. No, the fact I was born with a uterus and I can feed a baby with my boobs.
Yep.
Ta-da!
I am also female. I know that's crazy, but I have been my whole life. And I will be until I die. It doesn't matter what I wear because right now I'm wearing jeans and a t-shirt, which I guess is typically a guy thing, but female power, we've taken it over. I don't understand this. I don't understand how you can take genetics, biology, okay, chromosomes. I don't care what you do to the outside of your body. I don't care. You can't change your chromosomes. It's not possible. Now, maybe sometime in the future it will be possible, but currently, as we stand right now, you can't change that, which means you cannot change your gender.
Oh.
Can we make that very clear?
Exactly. And here's the big thing that a lot of people, I understand there's the dysphoria in the brain, and I get that. But not everybody who's saying that they're transgendered has that. Number one, I would like to put that out there. Number two, they're sitting there going, well, there's not a lot of differences in between male and female body. Yes, there is. Look at the skeletal positions of certain bones, especially the pelvic bone. This is how, when archaeologists go and dig up bodies and they see the bones, they can tell if it was a male or a female by the bones.
The ribs and the pelvis are dead giveaways as to whether it's a male or a female.
Right.
And that's it. Those are your options, by the way, just so you know.
It's one of those things. In all honesty, I have never really cared how people dress as long as they're covered up. That's all I really care about.
Don't Kim Kardashian this, because that woman will drop her clothes faster than anything. It's kind of disgusting, and it really needs to stop.
I'm sick of looking at people's underwear. Please pull up your pants. If you're a guy, I don't really want to see your ding-a-ling out in public. If you're a woman, I don't want to see your nipples out in public. I don't even want to see your under boob. Keep it covered. I don't want to see man boobs either. But that's me.
How about the short shorts on girls where the butts are hanging out?
I don't want to see butt cleavage either. There are certain things that are supposed to be worn around the house. Not everybody got to see up in your business.
No.
Leave some things to imagination.
Seriously though, ladies, okay, let's just talk a little bit about respecting your body, ladies, okay? If you do not respect your own body, i.e. show it off to everybody for any reason, anytime and anywhere, you're not going to attract the men that respect you. Okay, not gonna happen. And the worst part is that you are the type of woman then, the hussy that's out there showing all her TNA, who is then going to complain that there are no good men out there and nobody respects her. Well, yeah, you don't respect yourself. If you don't respect yourself, how can you expect anybody else to?
Exactly.
Ridiculousness, I tell you.
I want to show another thing that I found on Facebook. Now let's see if I can do this, because I'm not always the smartest one here. It won't let me. Oh, it's not letting me bring it up.
Evil and must be destroyed.
All right, so I'll read it. I'll read it.
Okay.
There is this person with short hair holding up a sign saying, "My genitals do not define my gender." Somebody made 4 comments afterwards. "My IQ does not define my intelligence. My physique does not define my fitness. My semen does not define my child. Go on, make more stupid cases."
Yeah.
Gender is not a feeling. If they can go against Facebook instead of going fat isn't a feeling, which it is, because there's days, yeah, I know I'm fat, but there's days I feel fat. There are other days I feel fine.
Yeah.
Gender is not a feeling. Not everything is a feeling.
It's all about the
freaking feelings.
I get it. I understand. You know what I find most interesting is that the people that I find that are most outspoken about this whole transgender whatever issue are young millennials. And when I say that, I mean under 25.
Yes.
Okay, we're talking 18 to 25 crowd. Now, I have said this before on this show. I will say it until I am blue in the face. The last thing to develop in anyone's brain is the reasoning center, i.e., the part of your brain that allows you to see around those corners, to be able to determine what's going to happen based on actions. If you are 18 to 25, you have not developed that yet. Now, I'm not saying all 18 to 25-year-olds are incapable of making wise choices. I am saying that on average, until you're 25, you're probably not going to be making the best decisions. I know I didn't. So, if you're incapable of making rational decisions about, oh, should I go out party or pay my rent? How can you possibly make a decision about who you are? I'm confused by this. I have to look up the statistic, but there are a vast majority of people who claim to be trans in their teenage years who in their late 20s, early 30s have, I guess, an awakening of sorts and are like, oh, that was really stupid. Nope.
Yeah. It's one of those things because I remember I got a shit ton of flack because one of my nieces, when she was in high school and she was going through her partying stage, decided she was bisexual. I said, no, you're not really bisexual. You're just doing it for attention. Oh, no, I love everybody. It's kind of like when Miley Cyrus says she was pansexual, and I don't think she looked up what pansexual meant. But I'm sitting there going, no, you're not. And when she stopped partying, she's like, no, I didn't. I only did that with the girls so the guys would pay attention. I'm like, duh. Think I'm retarded? And by the way, can I just talk to you people who actually think that you're pansexual? Do you know what pansexual means? It just doesn't mean that you like both men and women and transgender and all that. It means you also like bestiality and having sex with dead people. If you say you're pansexual, I'm going right to bestiality, saying that you like to fuck your cat. And a dead cat at that. Because that's just where my mind's going to go with you, and I'm going to think that you're gross and you need to get away from me.
Yeah.
Just throw that out there.
Look up definitions before you throw them out there. I'm aware of an individual who describes themselves as, is it transgender queer or trans queer gender? I don't even know the correct order in which to say these words because
I think it's transgender queer because I know gender queer is a thing.
Okay.
I don't know about the transgender queer because that don't make no sense to me, but whatever.
No, it doesn't make any sense. Let me explain what it means. Okay, because I had to look it up because I was like, wait, what? It means I don't know what I am or what I am attracted to. i.e., I'm in middle school. No, you are not transgender queer. You are figuring out who you are and what it is that excites you as an adult. But there's not, you don't label it. Like, can we stop pigeonholing? That's my whole point, is that by making all these titles and compartments, that we're actually further separating ourselves from each other instead of like coming together and kumbaya. What happened to the Coke commercials? I'd like to teach the world
to see in perfect harmony. Yes.
Right. Where is that? Because
I think what happened, this is what I'm going to go with. Because when that Coke commercial came out, a lot of people are smoking pot. And not the pot we have nowadays. We're talking your basic marijuana, nothing cut in it, none of these super strains that we have out now, just good of the earth marijuana. And a lot of people are smoking. We were all riding a good high. Nowadays, you got everything cut into this stuff. You got your super weed. You got everything else. And it's completely just taking people apart.
It's insane. And I don't understand. Like, I don't understand why we need to divide ourselves into all these different little pigeonhole compartments and whatnot, when really we're all just humans on this planet,
right,
trying to figure out life.
Pretty much, yeah. I was just thinking, remember like a few years ago they were trying to do that no labels thing?
Yeah.
There'd be no labels on. But here's the thing though. Psychology wise, people like having certain labels because it makes them feel, because it goes back to, it makes me feel special.
You belong. You belong to something.
Right. Well, not only that, but the more labels you can add to yourself, the better you feel. Because there's that one meme, I don't know if you've seen it, but you've watched the Avengers movie where like Captain America looks at Tony Stark going, take away your suit and who are you? And he lists off, playboy, billionaire, philanthropist, da-da-da-da-da. Okay. Those are his labels. Well, then they're like, well, what about you, Mr. Wayne? What's Batman? Same thing that Tony Stark said, but he listed like he's a karate master and loves all these different things and master of all these different fighting techniques, and he has a PhD in something. There's like rather even more off, and it's like those are his labels. Because people like having those labels because it makes them feel special.
I don't feel special by labeling myself.
When people ask me to describe myself, I say I'm Sparkles. And they just kind of like look at me. I'm like, that's how I label myself. Because I always figure no matter what I say, you're going to label me however you want and how you see me. Because my first blog that I still have open, that I just don't write in that much anymore, I named it Human Inkblot. Because you're going to see me how you want to see me. I can't tell you how to see me. So I'm a human ink blot. Basically, that's all we are. But because you can sit there and tell me that you are one thing, like 5 different things. But I'm going to sit there going, I'm not seeing like 4 of those things, but I'm seeing these other things over here on you. You can say that you're humble, but really I'm seeing an arrogant asshole. That type of stuff. You can label you whatever you want.
You mean like Trump?
That video from Jimmy Fallon.
Let me get a pen. Yeah, I got one.
The eye rolls at the beginning were awesome. Oh my goodness.
Okay, can we just talk about Donald Trump for a minute? Just for a minute, because I think he ties in well to this whole identity topic.
Yes.
I think I have a theory about him. I think the reason he had, and I'm going to use that past tense because his campaign has proven to be less than good lately. I think the reason that he had been doing so well is he does do a very good job of making himself seem approachable and down to earth and just kind of, hey, I'm a guy's guy, whatever, la. He does a really good job of that.
I'm just going to put that out there.
True. But he's not. Like, people have decided they've projected themselves onto him or him onto them. I'm not quite sure which it goes, but they've decided that, hey, he's like me. I'd make a good president, so he'll make a good president. And they haven't really thought that through to the end. Like, no. There's no thought process to the end. It's just, I identify with you and you are awesome, so you're going to be good.
Right. I've had a lot of issues this year when it comes to Trump and my people that I've known only through Facebook, because they're all sitting there going, "Oh, he's so humble." Do you know that everything is gold plated at his house? That is not a sign of humility. When you sign your name in gold Sharpie, that's not a sign of humility. When you put your name on everything, that's a sign of humility. When you can make an ex-wife basically drop out of public until it's your election year, that's humility. I'm just saying, I think it's a coincidence Marla Maples all of a sudden reappears on Dancing with the Stars during this election cycle. Just saying. Just bring it up.
But even more than that, even going deeper than that, his speeches, what he said, it's going to be huge and I have the best and it's all the best and we're the best and I hire the best. Let me tell you what hiring the best has done for him. Washington State, they needed to get the word out for delegates in Washington State. And the Cruz campaign had a ground game out there for, at least a year. And they had nailed down their delegates and whatnot. The Trump campaign, he hired the best advisor, political advisor, to do this, to wrangle delegates. Here's what the best person who wrangles delegates did. They sent an email to all the prospective delegates in Washington, D.C., and they sent it to them 2 days after you had the deadline to become a delegate in Washington State. I'm not joking about that.
No, but I'm thinking about this ramification type of stuff on a global scale.
If he's hiring the best, why is the best geographically and timeline challenged?
Exactly. Could you?
I apologize. My dogs are having a conniption fit right now, so you might hear them. My apologies.
No, but I'm just sitting there thinking, what if we're having like some kind of issue is going on in, like, we'll say Austria, and his tough people are sending things to Australia to help out.
Right. Or what if we need to help out South Korea and he sends shit to North Korea? Like, that has ramifications. I don't even know what to do about this. I just, and he's doing well because he he portrays himself as the common man.
Here's the thing. How can he be a common man when his father can afford to give him an unsecured $1 million loan? I don't get it.
A small loan.
Yeah, that's considered a small loan. Okay, I couldn't even go up to my parents and ask them for $1,000 loan, let alone $1 million.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And so all these people that think he's the common man, they conveniently forget about that small loan of $1 million. And they conveniently forget about the 4 times that he filed bankruptcy. And they forget about his penthouse in New York. And they conveniently forget about his palatial estate in Florida. And they conveniently forget about his private jet and helicopter. And they conveniently forget about just the royalties that he gets from his books. And they conveniently forget about all his rich and powerful friends that he has given money to. Democrats.
Hillary Clinton.
Right. It's interesting how people who have decided to identify with Donald Trump can so easily poo-poo and swat down these arguments. I don't even get it. And then I get it. I get the flip back to me. Oh, well, you just like Ted Cruz because you identify with him. No, I don't. Actually, I do not identify with Ted Cruz. Not even a little bit. The only thing he and I have in common is our love of the Constitution.
And The Princess Bride.
Yeah, The Princess Bride. Yeah, he and I can. I'd like to sit down and watch The Princess Bride with him. That'd be fun. But I don't hang the sun, the moon, and the stars on the man. I think that he's a strict constitutionalist, and I think we need that in the Oval Office. So, awesome. But his values are not my values. His lifestyle is definitely not my lifestyle. Absolutely not. He definitely married up. I'm sorry, he did. Heidi is... Woo,
I love her. Oh my goodness. But can I tell you one of my favorite things that happened on CNN?
Mm.
I mentioned this on a mutual friend who posted it on Facebook. There was an interview with Ted and Heidi was giving an answer. The way that Ted was looking at Heidi the whole time she answered, I'm just sitting there going, oh my goodness. I said, this is what you need to look for. It's not always what they say. It's a body language thing. When he was looking at Heidi, you saw not only does he love her, but there is a respect level that he gives her when she speaks, that he is actively listening to what she is saying. And it's like, oh my goodness, this, number one, that's the kind of love that everybody should have sometime in their life. Number two, if that's the kind of love he has with his wife and his children, that's somebody I think would do good in the White House. Because you can't stray too far from that kind of love for like family and then go against country, in my book.
No, absolutely. Because there's no separation of those two things. Your family is in the country that you love, and you have your family because of where you live. I just can't separate those two things. And so, but I mean, Donald Trump's wives, I think all of them were not born in America.
No, I thought Marla was.
Was Marla? Okay, so 2 out of the 3.
2 out of the 3 were from, I think, Eastern Europe.
Yeah. I think that actually speaks more volumes about his loyalty to the United States than than Ted Cruz having been born in Canada. Because Ted Cruz didn't have a choice about being born in Canada. But Donald had a choice as to who he was going to marry again.
Right.
And again.
Yeah.
But, that's just my opinion. I take it for what it's worth. It's just a little grain of salt. But we only have a few more minutes. And the one thing that we really wanted to talk about with this identity politics, at least something that I really want to talk about, is North Carolina.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you read the law. I know you did. I haven't actually read the whole thing. I understand it, but I haven't read it.
Okay. From what I get from the law, the reason, because I put it on Facebook, I'm like, could y'all read it? Because they're all like, they're transphobic. No, it's about government stepping in and telling a business what kind of bathrooms they can have. Now, I shop at a store that's pretty big in Myers, in Michigan, and going out more into the Midwest, and it's called Meijer. They have one bathroom, and you go in and it's unisex. Most businesses have this. Some restaurants may have a male and female type of thing, and some have family bathrooms. That's wonderful. But it's one of those things. I believe the business owner should decide what kind of bathroom they want. They shouldn't have to have 4 different bathrooms where there's a male one here, female one here, a family bathroom, and a transgender. No. If a business wants to do that, that's fine, because it's on them. They're the ones that have to build them and clean them. If a business wants to just have 2 one-stall unisex bathrooms, that's fine. But it should be up to the business owner, because it's up to them, because that's their child. Mm-hmm. That is, because the business is their child. They're going to raise it up. They want to have a certain clientele going in there, for them. Mm-hmm. Not every business is for all of us. Guess what? You're not going to see this face in the strip club, because I had not really big on seeing other women's breasts. I have a pair of my own, so I don't really need to go out and see that for high-priced drinks.
Right.
It's one of those things. Not every business is for you, and not every business owner has to cater to your feelings. The business owner is there to make money. Mm-hmm. If you don't give them money, then they'll figure it out. It's called a market. Quit putting government regulations in my free market.
Right?
Chocolate out of my peanut butter.
Can we talk about Michael Moore asking his distributor not to put the movies in North Carolina? Who was it that tweeted back at him and was like, isn't it nice to have the freedom to not do business with somebody who doesn't share your values?
Right. That was like,
oh, snap. That was the best response ever in the history of ever. I died when I saw that. It was perfect, because no matter how Michael Moore chooses to answer that question, mm-hmm. he loses. He loses the argument. Because if he answers yes, then he bolsters the argument for North Carolina, letting businesses decide what they're going to do. And if he answers no, well, then he better get his movie, whatever movie does he have a movie? I have no idea what.
I stopped paying attention to that guy a long time ago.
Yeah, I don't know, but apparently he has a movie. So if he answers no, then he should probably put the movie in the North Carolina theaters. So.
And if he continues not answering it, he's just a coward.
Then he knows he's wrong. Then he knows he's caught.
Exactly.
And that's the thing that amazes me about him. And for freaking Bruce Springsteen. Can we just, oh my God.
Okay, here's the thing. Number one, I don't listen to nothing that Bruce Springsteen has to say. Why? Because did you know he's basically kind of like a dirt farmer? He owns a farm, does not grow anything, but receives money from the government.
Awesome.
But he's gonna bitch about that kind of a law going out.
Well, I don't understand. Why do you punish your fans? Why punish your fans for a personal issue?
But there again, like somebody said, when it came to Bruce Springsteen and Bryan Adams, because he's going against Mississippi.
Oh, and then they go and perform at other places where you can be killed for being gay.
Yeah, not even being a transsexual, just being gay. Just being gay.
PayPal, too. Oh, PayPal pissed me off. How dare you say I'm not going to do business in North Carolina, but you still do business in the Middle East?
Exactly. How hypocritical.
Ugh. I don't understand.
Here's the thing. Take my businesses out of the government and the government out of my businesses. They should be two separate entities. If we can have a separation of church and state, we need to have a separation of of state and business.
Yeah.
We really should, because this political crapola that's going on should never happen. Because I can start seeing where the end mark is going to be. And I keep trying to tell people, because everybody's like, they love the idea of socialism and that kind of stuff, and they're okay with statism. I'm like, because you haven't lived there yet. Now, one of my favorite examples to show people is we used to do business with Austria for what I make. I had to get my supplies from there. Well, we were running behind. We had to get parts expedited. But in Austria, if to work overtime, it wasn't like you just go ask your plant manager, hey, we need overtime, can you free up some funds? You have to go to their government to ask for overtime.
Damn.
Think about that when it comes to your paycheck, Americans. You have to go to your government to ask for overtime. Do you want to kind of live in that kind of country? I don't.
No, that's not okay. Not okay at all.
No.
And
I saw your face. Are we overtime?
Huh? No, not yet. We got a couple minutes.
Okay.
In fact, let me look and make sure. We've got 2 minutes left. 2 whole minutes. I know. It's crazy. But so here's the thing. If you're going to take a stand on something, be consistent about it. Okay, I take a stand against terrorism. One of the things that I don't do anymore is I don't shop at Lush Cosmetics, because they actually give a percentage of their profits to the One World Foundation, which actually gives money to Hamas. Yay! So guess what? I don't want any fraction of my money to go to anything remotely close to terrorism, i.e. I don't shop at Lush anymore, and it kills me because I love their products. But I take a stand.
Exactly.
And
I'm sorry. Somebody with really loud bass just went by my house and it rattled my trailer.
Oh, was that you? I thought it was the stereo downstairs.
No, that was a car passing.
Oh my gosh. Well, see,
Okay.
it's an entertainment, people.
Yeah. All right. For my final word for tonight, my final thing, I'm starting a new hashtag. You all are welcome to join me in this. Hashtag stop gender appropriation. If me eating Chinese food or Mexican food is cultural appropriation, guys putting on dresses is gender appropriation. This shit needs to stop. Just putting that out there. If all these little millennials can have feelings, guess what? This Gen Xer can have some too. Hashtag stop gender appropriation.
I don't have a fun hashtag, except I do have one little one that's going on called Villains Lives Matters, because villains in movies are awesome and they're the reason plots happen, so you should probably care about them. So hashtag Villains Lives Matter. And But beyond that, no, I don't really have much of anything. I've been a little ranty lately. I might post my ranties on the May Dames page. I didn't do that, and I got ranty about stuff. So, and I'm going to get more ranty, so fair warning. So that's it. And if you take umbrage with anything that I've said tonight, go ahead, at In-Depth Girlism. You go right on ahead and tweet at me. I'll be happy to tweet right back at you with facts and logic. Don't come at me with feels.
Yeah. Beautifly Wings. Come at me. But I may not join your argument. I may start one of my own. So just fair warning. Or get us on our Facebook page. Facebook /May Dames. Bye.
Bye.